Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good vibes, good energy, good people. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Also, if you want to support my brand, it's Inspired by Dreams. I'm trying to build it with you guys, my community. And yeah, you can check me out, inspiredbydreams.shop. Okay. Good morning, all my peoples out there, all my dreamers, all my dreamettes. Yeah, it's a beautiful morning, NYC. Shout out to my boy Andy Appleseed. Big ups to all my peoples out there. Hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. There's been a lot going on, and we got a lot of things to talk today. So we're just gonna make sure everybody just gets settled in, and we're gonna break a few things down that I just wanted to bring to you guys, as well as if you guys haven't noticed already, I did release a video last night at 12 a.m. and it's on just post it. I believe it's so important in these times for people to just check this video out. It's on posting things on social media that can possibly get you fired at your workplace or your job. Okay, so yeah, so I'm not gonna, I'm one of those people that, I'm also on the other end as far as a content creator, but as well as I support other content creators. And I know just being as a person just watching and trying to understand what's going on in today's news, you guys want to hear the whole headline. So today's, the big news going around is that Jay-Z is being accused of sexually abusing a 13-year-old, and we're gonna break some things down, and I'm just gonna go over my take on it, and from all the information that I've gathered up to this point, and we're gonna break down some more things that I've been looking into as far as the Diddy case, and we got a lot of things going on in the hip hop industry as well as all the way to battle rap. So we got a lot to talk about. But today, when I first heard the news about this Jay-Z and I wanna just touch this in a different way. I see a lot of people with this, like, it's like almost like this, like it's somebody selling concert tickets and everybody wants to tune into this thing. This whole situation, starting from Diddy up until this point, has been disgusting, and it's yuck. It's a yuck factor, and it's just sad that we're at this point where it's almost like it's putting people in the position to judge between people. It doesn't feel good. But anyway, let's jump into it. So Jay-Z is he's being accused of allegedly, sexually abusing a 13-year-old. Now, I do have some questions. When I heard this story, I'm hearing the story went something like this. It said that a 13-year-old, she was dropped off at, I believe, Radio City Music Hall for this MTV, I believe, award party. And she was looking around, I guess trying to find her ways in, and then she bumps into a limo guy that says, Diddy is her type, and, he leads her into the party, and she ends up drinking, ends up getting woozy. She claims that it's some empty room, Jay-Z and Diddy in this room, and they did something to her, and she later on ran out of there, and she called her father, and he picked up, and she got out of there. Now, what I wanted to is a couple things about this, you guys, because I don't ever throw away what people have to say. I listen to it and I try to get it all in there, but it just doesn't seem right. And if you're asking me, it just doesn't seem right. And not only doesn't it seem right, I feel like her parents should be charged. Her parents should be charged if this information is just information that doesn't have any validity to it, or anything that can possibly be true, or you can point out. Her parents should be charged, and she should be as well too. Because let's listen to this for a minute. A 13-year-old who has friends as a 13-year-old that's going to drop them off in the city, just leave them and go into this big extravagant party. You don't think that the person that dropped them off possibly would have want to go to that party too? But this 13-year-old that doesn't have tickets or doesn't belong or have any type of entrance into this place just knows that she's going to get into this place. Number one. Number two, you mean to tell me that why is it linked to Diddy? If people don't understand what's going on here, I hear the story being like closer and closer being linked to this Diddy situation. And so you mean to tell me that she just happens to bump into a limo driver that also knew that Diddy was doing this sort of stuff and just happened to take her into this party? I mean, it just, I'm just going off of, and then a 13-year-old drinking. So it's safe to say, I'm saying she hasn't drunk before. A 13-year-old drinking, so she drinks, she gets woozy and still is in control to even be abused or to even make it out of this situation to get back. And her father, and being sexually abused, it's not like you just snap out of it and walk out like it's nothing happened. And for a 13-year-old, I'm imagining this will be more detrimental. This would be like something horrific. So she comes out now and her father sees her. So you mean to tell me her father picks her up, sees her in what? She didn't tell her father at that point? Or he did, it just doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem right. Now, when it comes down to these allegations, you see, like I told you guys, yes, we've seen Diddy with the tape with Cassie. Yes, we've seen that with our own eyes. Everything else that surrounds this, without the proper information, we can't form some kind of judgment on him. And this is the trickiness of these type of situations. I just feel like when it comes down to just putting somebody's character out there, being that people have businesses, families, and things like this, where social media is playing a part in the court system, I feel like there should be some type, and it is criminal. That's more than criminal. That's not something, if somebody do something like that to a 13-year-old, that's not something you will want money off of. That's something you will want criminal justice off of. What type of parents do these people have, I ask myself. And this is the scariest thing. It is the scariest thing. I told you guys, when it comes down to generation, like family curses and things like that, suing is a part of that too. Now, people might not understand this. This is all facts, like suing people and taking what people have and trying to get this out of that. Those all go into the same thing. It's all in the same patterns. Now, am I throwing away her case? No, I'm not throwing away her case. I'm just saying what she has presented thus far doesn't seem anything that's sustainable to say that man did any of that. But all it's doing is trying to put a stain on him without having some kind. And then you say you don't want to put your name out there. And it's not like you're 13 years old now. You're a grown woman now, should be. You don't want to put your name out there, but you still have enough guts to come up now and say that about him. Now, there is a fear that we've been hearing within the Diddy case where outside of things, people of stature, they're doing things to people as far as like paying lawyers or paying private investigators to go harass people, or I hear about these things. And on the other side of it, as far as Jay-Z, I'm not going to make it just easy off of him, Now, Jay-Z, as far as Jay's side of it, the only thing that I can come up with that I hear time and time again that has no proof or no sustainable facts behind it is, okay, one time Jay was dating, they said Jay-Z was dating Foxy Brown at a young age. There's no proof to that. There's no proof to that. Then you have all of, I just don't, you have to know how to read a person's character. And they also said in it that Jay-Z and Diddy were doing it together with her. And I just don't see that man like that type of person. There's two different characters that we're looking at here. Diddy has a more open character because he's a bisexual man. And when it comes down to Jay-Z, he has a more shy character. It doesn't look like he just goes around from a young age. It doesn't look like he was just sleeping with a whole bunch of people. I don't think he had that privilege of doing that. And sometimes taking that privilege out of your life makes you a better man. You make better choices as far as the females that you choose. And from what I see from his choice of females, the only time Jay-Z has made his mistakes, and it's been documented. It doesn't have anything to do with sexual abuse. So I just don't want to put that tag on him. It's just not, you don't just jump on social media and just because somebody has allegations, you start staining the person's character. The man, you might not have businesses. I might not have $1 billion, but these people hold a different responsibility. So you have to be very mindful of what you're saying. If the information, the reason why people are bringing everything together is because Diddy had this video that we saw with our own eyes. Now, as far as this lawyer, unless he has proof or has some type of evidence, you cannot just call a mogul out or somebody, anybody. You can do that. And that's the reason why the government right now is companies, that's big companies taking out little companies and doing all this stuff behind the scenes. They are getting regulated. Just because you're a big lawyer, you have big status, and you might be doing this case right, doesn't necessarily mean that this, you can pull this into that. It looks like a money grab. Also, it looks like a stain on a person's character. The man has a family, he has kids, they're on social media, everybody's watching. And everybody's like cheering and cheering. Oh, they're Jay-Z, Jay-Z. And before this, like I told you guys, it was in my past lives. It's like they want to pull people into this thing of Diddy's sins. Because people want to see this, like this wickedness of people that has made it to a status. You feel like, oh, these people have did something. But not everybody that made it to the top has been that way with people. Unless you have proper evidence. That's when you put it out there. That's when you have, but and then this whole thing, when these type of situations, these type of cases, this whole Jane Doe stuff, we're gonna have to stop that. It's ruining. You're gonna have to put on your big girl panties, put on your big boy boxers, get up on, because when I tell you, you guys trust me, this might not end well. It might not end well. It's just the information that's being presented in some of this stuff, it's just beyond me. And people, they just want to see this revenge, or they just want to see this type of destruction, so they feed into it. But you have to make sure that evidence, and this is not crossing anybody's allegations out. This is just knowing how to present something the proper way. A lot of people don't have this up. A lot of people are lost. A lot of people are lost. I wouldn't want to take $1 out of somebody else's pocket if I didn't earn it. That's just me. It's the type of mentality that makes you want to just earn for your own. And I'm not saying, but I just see a whole bunch of stuff going around, and people are taking this and they eating it like it's breakfast. Look, man, for the people that's, people do what they do and things happen for a reason. So I look at it like, if they have the right evidence, just bring the proper evidence. Don't just hide behind somewhere, because that's what it feels like in some of these cases, that they hide behind and throw these things. And I know you're trying to protect what you got going on, but you have to understand, if you're putting it, you have to make sure that you have the right evidence. Don't just slander people's name, because that can, I don't know. Jay said he's not giving up a red penny. And it's 20-somebody years ago. And I just feel like, I don't know, man. We have to have, and for the people, there's going to be a lot of people that it's in between this, because you got victims, but it all comes to what you got up here and how you can break down things. I just need more evidence. I need more before I can just say he did this or that's the wrong thing, because it just sounds weird. And that's just my take on it. That's not being, you guys know how I get down. It's not about being fans. I'm a grown man. If somebody went out there and did something to somebody, even if I had liked that person for years and years, if that person did wrong, well, that person has to fess up to whatever they did. But in my heart, if I feel like it's something that's going kind of crazy, I just can't go with it. I just can't go with that. I just don't see that in his character. I don't see that. I can see the sneaky Jay slide off with something just because he used to something, because the man, Jay is Jay. But I can't see him just taking something from a little girl like that. I just can't. It's disgusting. I can't see that. You can't open my eyes to see something like that. You can't just do that. I don't paint that type of picture in my head unless that picture is there in front of me painted already. I can't do that. I just can't do that. This is not a game. This is not a movie. You are playing with people's lives. That man is married and has a whole family, and now it's crazy. And all this foolishness going on from past. I told you guys all this over sexualization, all this stuff. It's like, you know, it's just the same thing Malcolm X said, that, you know, they sell you the liquor and then they arrest you for being drunk. A lot of foolishness going on. You got to be very careful of the things you do. That's the reason why I put up that video for you guys, to let you guys know you got to be very careful when you're going in your workplace and speaking to certain people. Them people don't care about you. Them people will take your spot way before you think they would. Trust me, I worked in the corporate office. I'm gonna tell you all a joke about me working in the corporate. I worked in one of the biggest companies in the world. Disney. Love them. Could you believe my crazy self? The first day in, everybody know the first day you try to come in and impress. And being that I went, you know, I had ties and things, some really nice ties. This day I chose to put on a tie, and that thing it had Bugs Bunny on it. Man, if it wasn't for, and you know, this is the one thing that broke the ice with a lot of people on my floor, because somebody pulled me to the side and said, "You can't wear that. That's Warner Brothers. Are you crazy?" And I started to realize, I'm like, oh, I took it off. Because you have to be very careful. I wasn't thinking that. Me, I'm just trying to be fly, you know, trying to set, since I'm wearing, you know, suited up, I wanted to, you know, bring my youthness to it, so I had and it's the wrong characters on the tie. You got to be careful of what you do. So I put that video up there. I hope you guys could check it out after this live is over, on just things you can and cannot say, and just being more aware when you're around. You know, we can bust it up and chop it up, but when you're around like other people and them start, they don't understand it. They don't get it like how we get it. So you got to be mindful of that. Now, as far as Diddy, you know, this whole thing has been a mess, and it's the sad thing about it all is like taking advantage of people is where it starts. I don't care about your sexuality. It's the point where you have to find yourself taking something from, like I heard another allegation where like the ex-wife of I believe a hockey player, Diddy was also, it always has to be somebody else's chick before they get it. And it's like, that led me to thinking, like, I understand there's some kind of, this sexually, I can see the connection in that. But mentally, there's some narcissistic stuff in between mixed in that. You got to think about that. You got to think about, why would somebody look over at somebody that's looks like a couple in love and want to take that from them and expect that not to happen to them in the long run because they have more money? Well, love don't work that way. Love does not work that way. Love is a feeling. It comes from inside. It doesn't matter how much money you attach to it. Don't you know a female will sit there and cry in a relationship just because she's with somebody that has the wealth but don't have no love for her? She'll sit there and cry. Yeah, but after a while, she's going to run. Vice versa, same thing. So when I see these weird type of celebrity situations going on where it's like a forceful taking from somebody, and my goodness, the yuck factor of the ages that we are hearing. There's nothing wrong, because you know what, to be honest with you, personally me, usually, like the older I got, I kind of, you know, I started digging older women more. But, you know, when I was at a younger age, you know, I didn't mind going younger. I didn't mind going 2 years younger, you know, as long as everything was legal. But you're talking about guys that they're in their 50s and 40s and 30s, and they're dating, and they're going for 16. This is disgusting. This is more than illegal. And this is not talking about any Jay-Z, because there's no proof of that nonsense. There's no proof of that nonsense. From the time Diddy got caught and they had Diddy outside, and he was walking around with his damn cell phone and then people was watching him, people was bringing up Jay-Z name. It's like people want to see our top just fall, and that's not the way it is. I don't care if that man never gave back a penny to his his neighborhood. It doesn't mean that he didn't give inspiration to people to want to do better for themselves. People have, see, that's why I always tell you guys, when you attach money to anything, it always go bad. It always go bad. It break friendships, it break everything up because people feel like that's the, that's not what it's about. That ain't what it's about. That ain't what it's about. It's the character of man. It's the character of man. Your character sits way before your money. Your money could just be your money. How you treat people. And I don't see this type. Now I can see the narcissistic, I can see that stuff. And you know, this is a couple things. Nobody's perfect. I hear things about Jay-Z too. I hear things about like D-Haven talking about him, and Dame Dash has his scrolls about him, and others, a couple people have their ways about it. But when I weigh it all out, I weigh the good. Does his good outweigh his bad? Because nobody is perfect. Those are situations dealing with financial and broken bonds of friendships. That has nothing to do with anything criminal, so anything like that don't really, you know, I didn't really start loving Jay-Z or hip hop because I wanted those people involved. Those were people involved in Jay-Z's story. So I don't interrupt a person's journey, but when it becomes criminal, and people are just putting things on people in these times without any evidence because of social media and these stuff. We've been seeing time and time again. We've heard, you know, I don't know if it's necessarily true, but it's time and time again where we've heard like certain, I don't want to call out people's platforms, but there's certain people on YouTube that their stuff might have ended up in court, and that had played a part in their, you know, in their case. It's what people say. So when you see these type of when I see these type of situations, I hear Jay-Z, you know, this or that. I wait to hear how, you know, first I see how the people react, like, and it gave me like a funny feeling. Like it gave me a very, very funny feeling how people were just pulling up things and I'm not saying that none of this can't, you know, it's just, man, where are we going, hip hop? Like hip hop is knocking on the door of retirement. If the more of this that keeps happening, I don't know where we're taking it. I don't know what type of example people are setting. I think the greediness of just that having first-time millionaires, this place birthed more first-time millionaires in the black community than anywhere. I think hip-hop beat out sports. I think hip-hop beat out sports when it comes down to just our black community. You know, some people coming from nothing to something, and that's commendable. That's something that it's not only genius, but it shows the art in what life is all about. That it's not really about the money, it's about who you are, the things you can do, the entertainment of it. We hear these stories all the time where, like, you know, the celebrities dating younger women and things like that. It's like R. Kelly and these type of things, and you look around and you look at the business and you could just tell the type of character some of these men, you know, adapted to while they got there. That overpowering and things like that. I never thought that was cool, yo. I never thought like belittling people and talking down on people that came from the same place was cool. So when I always seen like grown folks just cracking jokes, I'm like, where's your heart at? Like, don't you understand? If you came from this, you would understand where that youth is coming from. Like, he can't go to class because they laughing at his sneakers. Meanwhile, you talking about you switching your sneakers every single day. When you put that type of, even if you do that, when you put that type of poison in people's brains that look up to you, you end up damaging their lives because they can't live up to the lifestyle that you presented. So you do take a tick for that. You take a tick for that. Because it's still leading the youth in the wrong direction. So as you sit there with all your diamonds and you're sitting on those thrones, you have to realize the message that you put out to the people. Because they're lost. In their lifetime, they hear these stories. Well, look at the stories they're hearing, though, about you guys. And you want them to look up at OGs? No. That's where we come in, because I refuse to lead them in that direction. I don't need anything out of it. What a beautiful life I have. Trust me. I don't want that out of it. All I see is the wrongs in these situations, and I'm surprised myself. The youth don't know, we just as surprised. We're up to the time where we're revealing the people we thought they were, they're not that. So what do? We got to show who we are, what makes us who we are. Because the youth is looking up to those people thinking because their money and status and the wrongs they did, they can be paid off and all this types of nonsense. Meanwhile, America it's brutal, baby. It's brutal. It used to be able to beat you down, but now it's eating you up. Now it's eating you up. And it's swallowing you. You and your family, it's taking everything. I'm talking about the pricing. They don't even want us. Why do you think the prices shot up in the air? Because the more money we make, the more they're going to keep pushing the prices up so you can stay in the same place. And you're still thinking that you're so different from your own people. Meanwhile, no matter how far you go, you'll always be here. It's sad. It's sad. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to trust our own people because some of them did something to us, and we don't know how to look those people in the eye and tell them how we really feel. Something got to change, man. All of this is not hip hop. None of it. None of it, none of it, none of it. This is none of this stuff is hip hop. I'm telling you. This stuff comes deep rooted from people's families, how they came into business, took the money, how they think of it, the overpowering, the lack of education. All of this is boiled up into a pot of criminal acts. And we sit here, we know better. We know better. We know that ain't the way to treat people. You don't treat people like that. None of us, I don't care where you was from, you better don't lie in your family. You wasn't raised to go out there and act like a fool. If anything, you should learn, if you're coming from a place where it's aggressive and people foolish around you, you should start with you. That gives you a step up to be the only one to step out of that stupidness. Don't you know they throwing these gangs away for almost 30-something years? They think they're getting out. They ain't getting out. They just don't want to say life, but that's what it is. It ain't cool when you go behind them bars. It ain't cool. It ain't cool. There's a lack of respect in our community that we are taking on from entertainment, and it is reeking. It is reeking. We have no respect for the females, and let me tell you something. For the LGBTQ community, y'all in trouble. You see, this is why I tell everybody we gotta come together. Because while everybody got their own agendas, they fighting what color skin, they fighting their sexuality. If we don't come together, then people gonna box. While we think that we separated, these people got us all in one box. It don't matter how rich you think you are. So what if you rich? They know you ain't gonna spend no money to help your own people. So you'll be there by yourself. So they know the separation. Once they learned the separation, they knew how to treat you. They know you want to get this stuff to look down on them. And they know them people ain't gonna be able to get up there because they're the ones that thinking that you telling the truth when you over there supporting the other people. You think people don't know what's going on? Look what happened to Kanye West's life. Look at it. But we sit here and we pretend like we don't know what's going on. So now, boom, big breaking news. Jay-Z, he done this to some 13-year-old and everybody at Raw on a Monday. Like this is something that we supposed to cheer for. Jay-Z's a top artist in hip hop representative. That man done came for, and you mean to think this guy can come and just wipe away his whole thing just like that? This is not Diddy where they have all of a sudden we see a video. This is word of mouth. And people that hurrah like this is going, let me tell you something, man. Y'all gotta really wake up to what's going on, man. You gotta really wake up. I'm not saying that people put this. I'm just saying, man. Let Diddy come out and say that. If Diddy come out and say, Jay was there with me. I don't care what y'all say. Jay was there with me. Let Diddy do that. Since he say he was in the room with him, right? Well, call Diddy out and let him do that. Get yourself together and stop preying on people. If you don't have the right evidence, these people should not have been be able to come through unless that evidence was proper before you submit anything on social media, knowing how detrimental social media is. A lot of these people, they don't even read the news. Half of these people don't even read. They come on here and it's headlines and they beeline to off to where they gotta go to their job, and that's stuck in their head like it's true. These people don't even know. Half of them don't even have religion. They sit here and they act like they do, but they ain't come from how we came up. They ain't did that. No. I've seen more people that want to change their life and they getting into religion now, and I commend those people. They got love in their heart and they realize where they came from is not where they want to end up. So that's how it works. Don't believe these people. Don't let anybody just sell you anything. If somebody give you something, you say, well, if they're going to offer you something and they want you to break something down, so we'll come with more information. Don't let them people sell you short. You can never sell me short and come up here and start talking harsh on people that I once... Come on now. You're not going to do that to hip-hop. We got to have... That's why I say hip-hop ain't got no damn structure. So when people infiltrate, all y'all can do is duck and run and talk about... Come on. Do better. Do better before they take down your own people. It's not about selling albums or Kendrick Lamar's new song or who Drake is suing. You better get the structure together before everybody looks stupid and this be the end time of hip hop. And stop taking everything like it's news. Everything ain't news. Some of this stuff is disgusting. And it doesn't set an example for the youth looking on at how we as adults are acting and can't even get things with the right solution. If all this nonsense was going on back in the day, why people ain't speak up? What's wrong with y'all? Don't look at no content creators. And don't let me ever hear no celebrity against talking about stay suing the content creators for this and that. Because look at this. Look at the influence. Y'all was once one of us too. You mean to tell me you got behind them doors and you change yourself? You better wisen up, man. That money don't last forever because your years keep ticking. And don't let me ever hear about how some people out there putting out this hiring and hurting people outside of what they got going. You made all that money now to turn around and try to hurt somebody in your own neighborhood? God should strike you down. You know you don't live long thinking like that. You know that, right? And I start to realize whenever y'all get in trouble, you start running to my God and start praying. With all the talk you had on social media talking about your God, where he at? Where's that church? You ain't been in no church. Your mother ain't even go to church. We didn't come up like that. You got to fix yourself. You got to fix yourself. You can't just go out there and just live aimlessly and do whatever you want to do. We ain't living in the world like that. Don't you know we're about to go to war? Do you know that? Don't you know don't you know how a war starts? We sell them the weapons and then we get to fighting. The weapons are sold. Pay attention. Because not every war is going to be somewhere where we can just on and look. Sometimes the war hit right in front of you. You don't want to be on the back end of what we be watching on TV, right? It can happen to us. So we got to be smart. That man going in office and he want revenge on every single thing. He ain't playing. Trump ain't playing. He's swinging and he don't care what he hit. We got to be very careful, man. Learn the people in power. Learn that people out there, everybody has these ulterior motives. Come on now, y'all. Y'all know better than that. We smarter than that. Don't you see how they trying to get these people to try to downgrade education? They don't want you to learn nothing. They trying to tell you how education ain't worth this or worth that. Or how they try to throw student loans before they throw what the education, you get out of it. You don't have to go get a student loan. There's a lot. You got so much money to get the Rolls Royce before you went to college. So why you can't use that money and put it into your education? You don't got to go 8 to 10 years. You could go 2 years. And within those 2 years, you go out there and you learn something different. You took 2 years out of your life to not be around those, and you see the difference. It's discipline. Not everybody that's once out here want to be an entertainer. Sometimes we just want to be entertained. So everybody's in this whole pool of, oh, it's about money, and this is where it leads people, pointing fingers at everybody with the wrong information, and everybody's cheering that roar like wolves around the fire. Foolish, man. Foolish. You can't win like that. You can't win hurting your own people. I don't care what your skin color is. You can't win like that. You can't tear people down and feel like you passed the finish line. No, I saw you trip him. It's either you're going to go to the finish line and beat the person fair and square, or you don't got it. You don't got it. So until I hear more information on these certain things, I'm not. Some people get on this YouTube stuff and it's like, damn, you ain't had a dream before this? This is so you banking on it. But don't bank on other people's mistakes and their downfalls or whatever's been going on your dreams, because that can taint your stuff too. Make it come from here, man. Sick of this nonsense been going on. People so cheery and like this is something you, like Beyonce wanted to wake up and hear this. And I heard this was going on from October. So behind the scenes, we know the celebrities that's been going through some this, I don't know. It sounds like a money grab. Young Thug, you are another example for the youth. You're not gonna see that. That's not the. You don't understand. This is the problem, man. Back in the days, there was more structure even to getting like. That's why they talk about the snitching and things. You made the deal. The deal was you got 15 years probation after. Now you don't want to make the deal. That's the problem, man. Once you cut the deal, you can't go back on the deal. You already made the deal. What's wrong? See, that's the problem, man. Once you say something, you got to stand on it. If you didn't make the deal, you'd have still been in prison, man. Once you make the deal, that's it. You got to come out here. You can't get in trouble. How, if it's that hard for a person not to get in trouble, like you have to, I mean, it seems like you got to leap buildings not to get in trouble. Why is your lifestyle like that? Why are you living like that? Why are you living like that? Nobody wants to live like that. It's all entertainment. Nobody want no wild chick up in their house bouncing around the wall like a damn dummy, or can't cook a piece of breakfast, and all this stuff is entertainment nonsense. That don't operate around these. No, man. These people think that learning how to cook, it has to do with money, and they run off to the restaurant because they don't know how to cook and they ain't got no training. Learning how to cook goes with nutrition. If you're gonna have a kid in that family or raise a family, you gotta know how to cook. But they look at it like, no, I don't want to cook. I want to buy. You want to buy the food that they're gonna poison you with, so you're gonna buy the food for your kid. Look, listen. Social media got these people thinking some nonsense, y'all. Do not raise your kid according to how social media say to raise your kid. You go off and raise your kid the best way you know how, and that's how a good mother would raise their kid with love. Don't add money and all this nonsense to it. That's why all these people lost now. A lot of people looking at their kids like, because they hate them, because they feel like the kids took more out of them and now they're losing something out of life. Let me tell it. Hold on. Let me tell it. You can't live like that. And this is how these situations come up. Taking a 13 is just disgusting. You know, I don't even get that. 13 is it's yuck. I just to even put that on somebody, it's sickening. It's more than just the name you're putting on. To put 13 on anybody is disgusting. Now they're talking about Harvey Weinstein. His lawyer's fighting because he might pass away in prison. Well, first of all, I'll tell his lawyer, you're not God. You don't know when he's going to pass away. God knows his time, not you. You're just the person defending a person that did wrong to people. I don't know how that works upstairs. You have to figure that out with the big man. But at the end of the day, Harvey Weinstein, these conditions that you've been put upon are the same. This type of trauma, this type of hurt that you're going through now is what about the people that you victim? All the victims and you victimized, all those people, don't you think they're going through something now? You think when they look up and see your face on social media that they feel good? They probably can't even eat. Probably make them sick to their stomach. And you talking about because of the conditions of prison and jail? Well, wake up. These conditions have been like this for years and years. This is what people have been complaining about for years and years, and it never had any solutions to it. And now because you have a piece of money more than somebody else, you feel like your loud voice it's not gonna do anything. Don't you know there's people with they have family members in there that can't even get medical help because of these situations? And just because you think that now, so where they gonna put you out? Where they gonna pull you and put you in the gym? People are crazy. It's like this false sense of reality, and they think that people can't. It doesn't matter how big you think you are. Once the law, at least was supposed to be, everybody get their fair justice. Now it doesn't always happen that way, but my God, when they catch you and they got you, they got you. That ain't my. When they got you, they got you. It is what it is. So if you're looking for me to come over here and start judging people, this and that, you found it's the wrong person at the wrong time. Because I'm sick of all of this nonsense. Even when music drops, it has to be some kind of fight attached to it for it to sell. And I don't even like fighting music. So where does that leave us, the people that just like music and like to be uplifted by new things? Where does that leave us? I don't get it. I told you before, the more truthful you are with the words you write down, not nobody else writing for you, the more you are truthful with the stuff that you put down, the more it will resonate with the people. Not everything is perfect. Stop being a karaoke and doing over songs and start coming up with the songs from in here. So it will resonate. I mean, what's going on? Everybody's like going through the back door nowadays. Nobody wants to wait online. It ain't cool. It ain't cool, and I'm not feeling it at all, man. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. And that's how you see people invading your space. People invade your space when they don't have no respect for you. Don't you know that? Don't you know Tyler Perry? They almost try to do this home invasion nonsense. Why are they breaking in people's home? It's because people hurt and they feel like the things that people have is at abundance, but it's like, why? What kind of energy is out there in this world right now? Because everybody all suited up for war. In their minds they are. Come on now. Don't act like you don't. You know how many people on a day-to-day basis think about some kind of destruction? It's probably in the 80% or something like that. It's because of social media. It's crazy. It is crazy. It's nuts. You can't be crazy one day and then the next day you act like you're normal. That's a psychopath. Right now in Russia, they're chasing out all the gay community. They chasing them down. You want to live like that where people don't have their freedom? Yeah, only a certain amount of us have our freedom. Well, that'd be going back to the same thing that we just broke out of. Not really all the way broke out of, but we fight so far to get to this point. So stop. Let people do what they want to do. It's not your world or my world. It's our world. And stop judging people on the way they live or behave, unless it's into, it's coming into what you're doing are criminal. In Russia right now, they're like beating them people and treating them like they nobody and like something wrong with them. In America, we know we smarter than that. We know that's not right. No matter if it ain't none of your business. It ain't none of your business what people do behind their closed doors. It's none of our business. As long as it's not interrupting what you got going on or somebody in your family or ain't nothing criminal, what's wrong with you people? People crazy, man. Russia right now, they hurting people and you can't see that one day could be you. That's what's wrong with people. When they look like, oh, that can't be me. No, I got this amount of money. No, it could be you in a snap of a finger. You mean it can't be you? I done seen a billionaire lose almost everything. What are you talking about can't be you? A billionaire that never ever missed a Christmas or a Thanksgiving. I seen this. We seen this. So what do you mean it can't be you? Just because somebody's getting wrong done to them over there doesn't mean that you can't have no feeling for them people, because you know better. We know better. We know better, man. We know better. On the up and up note, shouts out to Queen Latifah and Missy Elliott. I believe that they broke history. First rappers to receive a National Medal of Arts. So that's a big achievement. I gotta give it up for the ladies. I don't want to hear it. The ladies been holding hip hop down all the way up until this point. They're trying, even if they gotta struggle their way through it and they fight their way up. Because all of this nonsense been happening. The overpowering. You never let that's one thing in America that we all have to understand. You can never let somebody get too much power. You have to pull it down a little bit. No matter how far you think you can go up there, it's that power has to be leveled out. No matter who thinks it's not, that's how it has to be. Because us as humans, one person can't deal with so much power. You cannot leave it in the hands of these people. You cannot leave it in those hands of these people because they don't know how to do it. They don't. It's not even. It's almost like if you haven't done it before, if you haven't been born into that type of power, you would definitely abuse it if you have a wrong mindset. We have yet to see somebody, besides Obama, that like the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's. We need more than you guys even think. So what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing in this social media, I'm hoping that in these next months to come, as when it's leading up to this whole Diddy situation, that we can get some of this evidence a little more clearer to the public. Instead of just going out there and just saying I don't know what it's all about. Some people say there's other agendas. This is what, if you're going to put stuff out to the public, make sure what you're putting out there is not just iffy stuff. Make sure you have solid information. That's all I'm saying. I mean, they took videos through the whole Diddy process. They was taping them, and then boom, TMZ got it up on there. Well, whatever, whatever. It is what it is. It'll be, the bell already rung. In other words, So let's go, let's go. The bell rung. We ain't got no time to sit back. You started the fight. Let's get the fight going, man. That's how I look at it. You say you want the fight, so let's get the fight going. Since nobody ain't scared of nobody and everybody feel like money is going to be all right, let's get the fight going then, man. Start the fight then. Go on with it then, man. For real. I seen another thing. Healing energy goes out to JT from the City Girls. I believe her younger brother, yes, it was her younger brother had passed away. It's just so many things are going on in this, and it all has to do, it's like, we got to get busy doing the right things instead of getting busy doing the wrong things, because when you get busy doing the wrong things, people find themselves in people's spaces, and you'll be so surprised how fast this world is working. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on. I just don't like, when I hear like, why that got to be the news all the time? Because 9 out of 10 times, a lot of these, if you look at every headline, it has to do with some type of destruction or some type of money attached to it. And I see this every single day. The more you tell people, it ain't about the money, the more they tell you, oh, you're broke and things like that. You could tell them you lived a good life. Let me see it. I didn't. A lot's been happening in hip hop, man. A lot been happening in hip hop. A lot been happening. I just want the people and the youth to know, if you're trying to be a rapper in these times, your authentic self always sells. It's always the best sell. No matter in whatever you do, you could be selling cologne. Your authentic self will always be the best sell. And I learned that, as far as my fashion, like I might not sell out to a whole bunch of people, but I always know that the people that it's on the backs of, it always it hits different, in other words. Don't take on other people's, the way they made it to wherever they had going, and just because you might want that certain amount of number of money, don't take on what they did to get there. Because 9 out of 10 times, what you think it is, most likely it's not. And I've seen this years and years in the past. I remember, just to give you guys a little gist, I remember when I was younger, I was doing music, and my song had hit the radio. And right after my song hit the New York waves on the radio, right there I seen something different. Like I've seen a little switch in the way people treated me, a little switch in people that was around me. I got to see things from the back end and behind the scenes at an earlier time, and I didn't like it. It wasn't like I was more in it for the talent side of it, the more entertaining side of it, just coming from, we all grow up having talent shows at our schools and things like that. And we know how it is just growing up, we having these things and you feel like you want to compete. And I made it to a four feet, just making it on New York City radio is a big thing. It's a big deal. And I didn't just get played one time. It was like a constant thing. Shouts out to DJ Self and all the DJs. I'm sorry if I missed your name. Rest in peace to DJ Big Cap for playing my song. But after that, I find myself like I don't want to be I find myself like more pushing away from it, even trying to just like disguise myself because I could do I could do a lot of things when I put my mind to it. So I said, no, I'm just gonna go the producer route. People didn't understand why. It's because I seen a lot of funny stuff behind the scenes. People like like how you see the fake laughing and the fake friendships and things like that. I'm not really coming from that. I'm coming from a place where like all my friends I still know to this day. I went to schools where like even my kindergarten, people I knew in kindergarten, so I didn't have no relation to how these people treated people. And then I hear certain things like how people will tell you anything in your face and they'll never show up for what they said they'll do. And just a whole bunch of that type of stuff. I met a lot of great people in the time and did a lot of great things like extras in movies and got to meet a lot of different people from Dave Chappelle all the way to Michael Jackson's father. And I just didn't want to be a part of it. It came to a point where I knew me as a person, the type of person I was not gonna fit. It wasn't gonna be the proper fit for the type of people that I seen in my journey going there. And I just didn't do it anymore. I just automatically just put my mind into something else, building a little clothing line and getting my mind together on certain things I had going on with the family. At the time, my lady, and I was pushed away from all of that because of these same reasons. People are not being authentic and I didn't, I've been in so many things. Like I actually been I was there when Jay-Z did the Lost Ones videos. I was outside watching them film that in the city. I like to be a part of it, but I realized me just being around the aura that I have and the aura that circles me, I realized that my worth, my value were bigger than just being around people that I didn't feel comfortable with. And that's kind of what led me to just doing other things and finding myself and my talents in other places because of these same reasons. So for the people that just going into this game thinking that I feel like we're in a better place because you don't have to like sign to a record label or push to get that from out of somebody. You really have the talent all comes from you, and we're such in a platform you can do it yourself. That's what makes this way better. So when I see, we also have to understand that in those times there was another outlet. So people felt like that was the only way. And a lot of people, they can't make those decisions like I made and said, because I think it's because of my family, the way I came up. I mean, me coming into hip hop, I felt like I had something to offer hip hop that we were doing outside of hip hop instead of me looking at like I want to be part of something. Like I was the type of person, me and my family, me and my brother, we were the one throwing parties for like our whole school. Like, so our birthday parties, we had 2 parties a year. Everybody got to go. We were the entertainment. So when you live in that type of space where you're the entertainers, somebody else, you're more bringing the party to them instead of trying to be part of the party. In other words, if you guys can understand. When it came down to whips, I'm known for whips. So I always had whips. I whips every year. Whips, 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 a lot of cars. After a while, that type of lifestyle, that's the reason why I never, presented it to you guys like that. I don't like mentioning money. And it's not because I don't have money. It's the fact that I don't put money in front of who I am as a person. And that's the reason why I kind of separated myself. And you'll find a better listen and you'll enjoy music when you're not trying to be a part of it. Your opinions become more, I guess, more truthful when you just want to hear good music. But when you see these people trying to be a part of it, you see people like just doing certain things to themselves to try to be this type of person that's celebrated in hip hop. It takes away from who you are. Like, I was never the type of person that's using the B word and the N word all over the place. Maybe amongst the N word amongst my dudes and my guys. But when I seen social media, I kind of felt like a certain way. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like a certain way of other people. It's just so because it could be, people can take it as an insult in our culture, and I knew that as a kid. I knew better, but I just knew around my people it was accepted. And it's these little things that was always stuck in the back of my mind that makes me who I am. I don't really like try to be like somebody else on online. I try to, I just try to be the closest and truthful to my happy self, because sometimes my angry self, we all have that angry self. It's like it upsets me when people, they know better and they act like they don't. It's different if you're influenced by drugs and you're just out there doing stupid things and you're just wilding out. But when you know better, you're at a certain age where you should be a little wiser and make better decisions. It's like, come on, dude. Like, I mean, I looked up to you as an artist, and now I have to look back and say, damn, you're really acting childish right now. You're not really living up to the person I thought you would be at this age. And it's a sad thing, but I feel like a lot of people got to really start basing their decisions off of real life and stop, not this fake false reality of what hip hop painted it to be. Because it's not true. When you do these drills and things like that, you don't get to make another hit song and you don't get to come out of jail. That's not a truthful thing. Like, when you do these drills and you're sliding on people and hurting other people, eventually what happens is karma catches up to you. And just when you feel like you might even at that point want to stop what you've been doing, that's when it pulls you back. And we've been seeing this time and time again with people just making these mistakes that you can't wipe away, because yeah, you can wipe it away on your side, but the person you hurt on the other side still has the wound. And that's the reason why you should never ever wait to your deathbed to start asking God for your forgiveness. Every single day you get on your knees and you ask God for forgiveness for the wrongs you may not have known you did, or harm you might have did to somebody else without you just even knowing. You live your life. It's not about saying every day you got to be this righteous person, but you should know better enough that you should be able to work around amongst people that don't keep the same and hold the same values as you without you having problems with these people. Like, what's going on in these times? Like, really, I've seen this, but the decisions that people have been making in these times, their decisions are for survival. Their decisions just because they've been hurt. You can't make decisions off of that. Remember, I told you, people might as well get their revenge list. Anybody that says something wrong to you, whoever stepped on your foot, whoever didn't hold the door for you, or whoever didn't hook you up with that, you might as well, because that's what eventually will end up happening when it comes down to this side not having this and wanting this from this side, or that person taking from that person. This is what it ends up to be. It always goes like that. Trust me. I mean, I have wrote a little note down. I said, with this Jay-Z thing, right? With so it's all stemming from this Diddy situation with his nasty stuff. And the reason why I say that, I'm not saying it because I don't believe everybody else. He says 120. Now we got to look back, and this takes a whole nother spin, because out of those 120, is it coming from the same lawyer that's going and using this type of thing against Jay-Z? Because I can't understand how a lawyer that is doing this type of, unless he has evidence that he's going to throw in our face to make what he's saying substantial enough, it gives him a bad look. It gives him a look of he'll do anything for the money. So I can't tell you if that's the same lawyer that has those 120 people. I don't know how that's going to work out, because it's kind of like you can't be bad and good. It's like it's like people try to mix it up. It's never going to work out. Eventually, the wool is going to come down, okay? So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. So I don't, that's why I said the longer this takes, the more we're going to hear a whole bunch of stuff being thrown in this thing. But they definitely got to bring some more evidence. You got to bring more than that. And for the person, but I don't understand with this Jane though. Like, there is really, it's a crime. You have. I don't know, you guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that, I don't feel like it's not enough. And I'm not, I don't have bias with these people. I don't know these people. I really don't know these people. I'll just enjoy them for the entertainment that they presented. But from what how I feel inside, I just feel like this something ain't right. two different men, two different characters. Um, no. Mm-mm. No, 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 sir, no, sir. I can't just. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not. I can't see myself doing that. I've seen another thing. Cardi was going through a little something with. I don't know if it was a writer or something like that, but the producer maybe trying to. After this is all over, I'm wishing Cardi the best too, because she was new to the game too. Just I seen her, make her, and it's a shame when you're around people that don't want to give you the right. They just want to take. I know you. Even if a person's bringing in a whole bunch of money and you just getting the same cut, it should not make you think any way of doing something outside of what you normally do to get money from that person. I don't know what the situation is, but when it comes down to like writing and producing and all that stuff, I know people have to be compensated, and that stuff can get sticky. And just all these lawsuits I hear going on. I'm a type of person. I don't get it with the lawsuits. If you have to file a lawsuit, you file a lawsuit. But when it comes down to criminal acts, I just feel like at that age of a 13, that should be more. That's a criminal act, no matter how you look at it. No matter how you look at it. I don't. If you say you can pull it up at the. And one thing that Jay said too, I was just like, when he was just like, it should be, well, I guess it's, if they can pull the statute of limitations, and they can alter that, because they alter so many other laws, and they can do it criminal wise, I guess that will be more. So now you have to have the evidence proving all of this stuff. And like, Diddy, what were you really doing with all? And they're saying it was like an MTV party. I didn't even hear, it wasn't even a Diddy party. So you mean that everybody was just aware of this stuff? Like, come on. I mean, they're speaking about it, and these stories song too out in the open for us as the people not to even get a glimpse. I don't get that. I've been to a few things, and I've never seen this. Nah, no, no. Now, as far as like the slipping things in the drinks and things like that, I've heard of that like long, long time ago. But I even at one time, I went to a club at one time, and I'm not a drinker like that. So I felt like crazy on the first couple sips, and I'm like, this doesn't taste like the amaretto sour I usually order. Then I told my boy Five, shouts out to Five, yo, I got to bounce, and he's a good friend of mine. So he was like, all right, Mick, let's go. And took me right out, and we just drove back. Drove back to Queens. It's like that. When you're around people that love you and you don't have no worries. Like, I don't know, but things like that do happen, and that's the scariness about, when the females out there, man, just going, I know they just want to have fun bouncing around, just trying to do their thing, not realizing that there's some guys in there that they know they can't get you if they approach you, but they will still want you. You gotta be very careful out there for all my queens out there. So many females, I love all of them, and they're beautiful, and they just come in with their new looks, and they're just trying to have a good time, trying to enjoy themselves, and people take advantage of it. It's crazy, but only God knows. Only God knows, you guys. You guys like and share this too. Make sure you guys like it up, share it. It helps the channel grow. It helps everything go. I got a few videos and things that I want you guys to, but I really want you guys to check out the last, I just dropped it 12 a.m. So after this is over, you guys can check it out, and I'll be working on some other things. I'm gonna look more into some of these cases that they're trying to put up here. I'm gonna try to find as much information as I could, and just really, cause so far what I've listened, shouts out to my boy, love you, bro. So far what I've heard, it's not enough. It's just really not enough. And it makes me question Diddy's whole situation too. And it doesn't make me question anything as far as his character, as far as how he treated people. I see that part. But it just makes me question how many people are actually have that type of evidence that can show proof. If they don't have the evidence, and they're just saying all of this stuff, I don't think that's going to be just enough to, If they're gonna charge him for something with Cassie, okay, but if you're talking about charging him with, you know, the R and the sexual abuse, you better have that stuff on tape. You better have those people that, because you cannot just say it and just expect people to just go off of that, or close out the case and nobody see what's going on with the case and just hit him with numbers. And I think that's the reason why he was trying to fight it outside, but he messed up on his part from showing his character of what type of person he is. You see that, Diddy? You got to be very careful too, because you trying to fight your way out. They know already how you're going to fight. They know your strategy. They know how you're going to come with it because of the character you displayed to people. So it's almost like, if they, you know, even though you're putting the 50 million and that's a big number to a lot of most of the world, it's kind of like it really goes into, if you do go out there and something does happen to the one of these witnesses involved with the case, who's going to be liable for that? They are. So that's what makes all of this stuff so sticky and crazy. I think to myself sometimes, like, you know, with all of these allegations, is it going to come to a point where they're going to present this evidence like, this is what they have, this is part of it, even if it's just stills, and you're like, oh, okay, wow, Diddy was doing it, because right now it's so blurry, being that they adding on people, it's so blurry, because it's one thing if it was separate, but then it's like, oh, Jay-Z at the Diddy party. So this is like, what, everybody knew Diddy was doing this? We didn't know that. Come on now, come on now. I ain't saying that it wasn't no wrong done in these situations, but all I'm saying is something wrong with this situation. Something is wrong with it. Something doesn't seem right, and I don't like to just, you know, I don't count people out like that and just throwing people away like that. It's so easy for people to do that because that's what you do. All of these movements, and they want to throw people away without even getting to the solution, because there's a possibility that they could be wrong too. You ain't fooling, not me, not ever, never, no way. No way. No way. No, sir. And what's this thing too? I also seen, on another note, I seen Offset. They said they caught Offset with another, are they really divorced, him and Cardi? Like, seriously? How could these young people, they quick to jump off and go to the next thing, and it's like, I mean, I understand in my younger days how it was, but in these times, y'all didn't experience how we experienced it. So you shouldn't even know about that stuff. You shouldn't even know about that stuff. What you're experiencing now is like, everybody seems so disposable, and it ain't that way. It shouldn't be that way. Love is not that way. What's the sense of having a family if everything is so disposable? Don't you know that pain and that trauma goes on to the kid, and that carries on and on for time to go? You don't want to do that. You don't want to be responsible for all of that. Break all of that nonsense, man. We could all do better than that. You know, when I say you can do better, my doing better ain't got nothing to do with no money. My doing better is free. It's all has to do with you. It's opening yourself up so you don't have to think that way. Just because somebody have more than me don't make me feel no type of way. So what? Somebody got more than me. They probably did more to get whatever they had to get. I don't know. I ain't paying attention to that. I'm not paying attention to that. I don't got no time to do that and do some of these comparisons, you know? Don't be comparing people. Be the one that everybody compared, you know? Compare you to. Don't be out there pointing out, oh, that shit is it's low tier, low vibration, man. Low vibration. We in a scary place. I mean, I could see us, America, being in trouble, and we are still concentrating on things that's not necessarily gonna be, you know, like, it's almost like dancing in the destruction is what I would call it. Dancing in the destruction. While things are being, you know, destroyed, there's also gonna be people where they're so numb by the music that they don't even know that by the time they get outside, they're gonna be out of it too. It's a lack of a lot of things, and it's not something that you can't better yourself, you know. Try to learn something new, man. Try to think different. Try to go about things different. If I went about the way things plays out in my head some of the times, man, you could put me in behind the prison. You got to know how to filter your mind and filter the things that make sense and that makes sense to you. I mean, people will sell you any type of mumbo jumbo for a few dollars. It ain't even worth it, man. It ain't even worth it. I guarantee you, ain't no parties were better than our parties. Guarantee you that though. No way. No way. Queens, New York. No way. No way. We had half the borough coming to our parties, and they wasn't even from our school. It was basically just for the people in our school, but it turned out people from in the neighborhood like, oh, we know them too, and they were at our parties. I'm talking about the back of the walls had to get repainted, like, because there was no parties like our parties. I can't. You have to know how to create your happiness, create your fun, create your lifestyle without looking at somebody else's and trying to duplicate it. Because the fun you're looking for, probably they ain't even having that. Social media got people dressing the same, looking the same in the face. It's just, mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't, that that man got his daughter is older than 13 years old. I mean, come on, that's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Never, never, never. Mm-mm-mm. This world crazy, y'all. And nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. Just keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going. And they don't realize no matter how much money they make, is the more price is gonna go up because they're gonna keep them in the same box. They don't even see the damn cycle. And they racing and chasing for this money that they ain't even gonna have the time to spend. It's a damn shame what happens to people that they're misguided. It's a damn shame. You gotta get yourself back on course, man. Get back on course. Get back on course. But I'm hoping you guys enjoy it. It feels like this is gonna be it's gonna be a bumpy weekend. I mean, this is gonna be a bumpy week until we get to that weekend where we can relax again. Because I'm telling you, with all the information that's probably gonna be dished out from now until Friday, yeah, I expect to hear any and everything, you know. But I'm glad that Jay spoke up because that says a lot, and I want to add to it, that says a lot in a man's character. That because he's not a person that we know for the people that know Jay or the people that grew up listening to his music, we kind of get a taste or a sense of his character. And Jay's character has never been the two in your face. I mean, even when he speaks on his speeches, he gets a little nervous. You still see that nervousness with him, and for him to it took I know he was dealing with it from October. He heard about it, and up till now, it's probably been a stressful point of him, just seeing how the internet takes stuff and sometimes can take things and run with it. I know that must have been heavy on him too. We all human here. We all human. So leading up to this point, it took a lot, and I'm glad he said something. He wasn't just gonna go, not a red penny, yo. I understood him. I understood him. Ain't nobody gonna put that above. You can't put that on no man's head and just say, he gonna take that and just pay you off and let him hold that on it. Man, you gonna have to fight me for all I got. But I'm not gonna say I did that if I ain't do it. And that's what a real man gonna stand up for. So we gonna see, you gonna fight somebody to end, like I said, come with it. That's how you gotta come with it. I don't like the people that talk and do all of this like they're gonna do this and do that. Usually growing up, I realized, those guys, they were always chumps, man. I'm telling you the truth, man. They were always chumps, man. You hit them one good time and they look at you like they're amazed. I thought you wanted to fight. You know how many times, I'm telling you, I don't even, listen, trust me. A man's character, you have to, no matter what lawyers you got in place, no, speak up from your mouth, from your mind, and let people know how you feeling. Don't let somebody speak for you. And that's what happened with the elections. They got these scripted stuff. They're trying to say what we say, and they can't even read it right because and now it come out, it won't resonate with nobody. When I tell you something, I swear to you, from the Most High, it's come from my heart. It's how I grew up. There's nothing fake about me. Not one thing fake about me. How I feel is how I feel. And I just feel right now something ain't right. And until they come with the proper stuff, like I always said, I cannot, I can't, you guys. So I hope you guys share this live, and we'll see if there's more information that comes in. I'll jump in. I'll jump back in with you guys, and we'll bust it up as usual. I love you guys. Make sure you share this, and I hope I didn't leave any jewels for you guys to go off with. But I tell you, I'll leave it like this. If you're somebody out there trying to be somebody, don't look up to somebody to try to be that person. Just try to see the person and the goodness in him that brought you to liking that person, and you adapt that within yourself. But when it comes to everything else, you try to structure it your way. The way you love, the way you care, the way you socialize with people. Make that the thing that your way. Carve that out yourself. Don't try to be like somebody else, because you end up in these conversations and these little group talks with laughs and people talking about people, and you don't even feel comfortable there. There's nothing funny. The jokes are not funny. They're just laughing because, just to kill time. Don't be that person. Be the head of the conversation. And you'll always shine and stand above those who don't know the value within themselves. Whether you got to sit on a chair at home or you got to stand on the pulpit and talk to the world, you always leave that good message with people and that good word, and it always stick with people. Love you guys, and thank you for tuning in. Yo, make sure, and I might just do tomorrow, might come through, and if this gets sticky, I'll be here for you, and I'll always bust it up with you. I appreciate you. I love you guys, and don't be fooled by the fools. All right? Till next time, it's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now.